Kaukauna, part of a building's facade started falling, sending bricks tumbling to the ground below. Here's Perry Apostolakos live with the latest now. Perry?
Bricks sit on the ground here after falling off of this building in Kaukauna. I'm here now where the street is closed. Kaukauna police say nobody was injured after bricks started falling off of the facade of the Galleria of Tile building at the corner of Law and Sarah Streets in Kaukauna. Sergeant Robert Momberg says they were called to the scene around 6 p.m. No other property was damaged. Momberg says they do not know what caused the bricks to fall. Law Street is closed in the area and is set to remain closed until further notice. Police say there is an apartment in the building and the man who lives there cannot stay in that apartment right now. Tomorrow morning, engineers and contractors are set to come here to find out how the building can be made safe. Live in Kaukauna, Perry Apostolakos, NBC 26.
A local business goes up in flames Sunday morning. I'm your Appleton neighborhood reporter, Noah Cornelius, with a look at the damages as well as what investigators had to say. Appleton Fire Department Battalion Chief Rick James says shortly after 8 o'clock Sunday morning, they responded to a fire on West 2nd Street.
Crews arrived to find heavy black smoke showing from the center of the building.
Battalion Chief James says this wasn't an ordinary fire, as he and other responding crews had already seen the smoke billowing into the sky en route to the scene.
We understood that when we saw the smoke while we were incoming, that this was going to be more laborious than normal.
The fire started at Pellet America Corp., which recycles manufactured waste and produces fuel alternatives to coal. Knowing this helped James formulate a plan of attack to control the fire.
Initially, we protected crews by starting with a defensive attack, using large volumes of water to knock the majority of the fire down, transition to interior with smaller hand lines to take care of the hotspots.
6 engines, a ladder crew, and 24 personnel responded to the fire. Battalion Chief James says they cut a hole in one of the industrial garage doors to enter the building and subdue the remaining fires.
Crews had the fire knocked down within about the first 45 minutes. After that, it'll just be mopping up hotspots.
At this time, entrances to West 2nd Street have been blocked off as emergency crews work on further cleanup and investigation, but they plan to reopen the entrances once it is safe to do so. The Appleton Fire Department says they'll be working closely with the Appleton Police Department to figure out the cause of the fire. In Appleton, Noah Cornelius, NBC 26.
Police say they are looking for a motive after at least 9 people were shot in what appears to have been a random shooting at a splash pad in Michigan. The victims include small children. The suspect, a 42-year-old man, was found dead with an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound at a nearby home. Rob Kirkpatrick has an update.
An investigation is underway after a mass shooting at a splash pad in Rochester Hills, Michigan, left at least 9 people wounded.
We were sitting out on the patio and we heard we thought it was firecrackers, and it was I guess it was gunshots because we heard people screaming like, help us, help us.
An 8-year-old boy and his 4-year-old brother are among the victims. 6 others were in stable condition Saturday night, according to authorities. Police say this shooting appears to be random and are trying to determine a motive.
The individual pulled up, exited a vehicle, approached the splash pad, opened fire, reloaded, left.
Police have identified the gunman as 42-year-old Michael William Nash and say he had no prior criminal history. He was found dead with a self-inflicted gunshot wound at his home nearby. The shooting comes at a time when the community is still recovering from another mass shooting just 15 miles away 3 years ago at Oxford High School.
You don't think it will happen in your neighborhood, and you think about Oxford and all the tragedy that happened up here. Now this is our tragedy here in Rochester Hills.
Under no circumstances is it normal for ice cream cones and flip-flops to be strewn amongst blood and bullet casings.
According to the Gun Violence Archive, around 220 mass shootings have happened so far in the U.S. this year. I'm Rob Kirkpatrick reporting.
Let's turn to our weather now on this Father's Day. Some rain, but a lot of sunshine too. Here's meteorologist Lauren Larson.
Yeah, I hope you had a great Father's Day today. For all of you who celebrated across Northeast Wisconsin, it is still a pretty nice night outside. We're looking outside over Green Bay, of course, taking a look at Lambeau. Not seeing much, of course, now that the sun has set, but it is still 79 degrees in Green Bay and still pretty sticky as well. Our dew points are in the mid 60s. A little bit breezy with those southerly winds, and that southerly wind is setting us up for some warm temperatures tomorrow. Our temperatures outside right now, not even our high temperatures, again, nearing 80 degrees for many of our neighborhoods. A little bit cooler along the lakeshore, 70 degrees right now in Manitowoc. But as we go overnight, looking at those temperatures only falling into the low 70s, so even close to our normal high before a very warm day tomorrow. We'll take a look at those high temperatures and if they're breaking any records coming up.
On this Father's Day, dads got in for free at the new zoo in Brown County. Dads got to enjoy the zoo at their own pace. It did rain earlier this morning, but fathers started showing out in force later in the afternoon. One dad, Brent Hermes, says he loves coming to the zoo in general, but Father's Day adds to it.
It's very good and very special. I love coming to the zoo. I love seeing the animals, and also with your family, it's just that much more important.
We have some hot temperatures headed to our neighborhoods, but is it enough to break these records? I'll have that 7-day forecast.